So MMA Ontario is here at Grant Brothers MMA and Boxing, and I'm visiting with owner Neil Forrester, and Neil is and the team at Grant Brothers is celebrating their 1-year anniversary on Sunday. Neil, how exciting is it to make it to the year milestone so far?
It's really exciting, actually. It's kind of weird. It feels like, it's funny how it seems like a year's passed by so quickly. Really, it seemed, we were just talking about it, that it seems like it was only yesterday that we were just planning our grand opening. So I think it's kind of giving us, doing this big 1-year anniversary celebration is kind of giving us like that feeling of when we were doing our grand opening celebration. So it was like mixed feelings. It was the one feeling of like finally, like it's here, like we're ready to go, and then it was like bittersweet. So it was really exciting though. I mean, at the end of the day, we were happy that we opened, and we got to kind of sit back and say, okay, this is what, you know, a few months of our hard work got us into, and now we're here to rock. Sean's doing amazing as the wrestling coach. I mean, it's great having him in the atmosphere, because you have a lot of people that really look up and respect him, and now that they're starting to see his name or hear about him on TV, on the internet, and all that, it's really good, man. It gives people, a lot of our students, someone to look up to and something to look up to with having him in here, and it makes even us it makes us feel good that, you know, one of our own has made it and is going on to bigger and better things, at the same time still having his foot in with us here. So it's been a fun month with regards to the whole Sean Pierson thing. Two of our trainers that are in the UFC now, that Wagner Fabiano's with the WEC, and it's now merged with the UFC, so we have that. You know, we have some guys, we have one of our boxers that's fighting for the national title coming up. You know, we have some guys that are fighting in, you know, other MMA organizations. So it's just, you know, the atmosphere is really fun. It's good here. I like coming here. It feels like a family atmosphere. It's just changed, you know, leaps and bounds, and I believe that over the next few years it's going to change leaps and bounds even more for the better. Obviously, way back when, it was just kind of like looked at, and it probably was a barbaric, you know, sport of just, it wasn't really MMA. It was just kind of no rules, just fighting. But now that they've, you know, implemented like rules and weight classes and those kind of things, it's really good to actually see like unified rules going out, and it's amazing to see that, you know, all the hard work and effort that we've all put into getting this thing sanctioned in Ontario is finally coming together for 2011. So you know, it's just, you know, it's starting to work with different people and sponsors. Like, you know, a couple years ago, nobody knew what MMA or UFC was or anything like that. Now they know what MMA is, UFC, Strikeforce, Bellator. You know, you can turn it on the news now. It has it at the bottom of the sports networks, you know, what's coming up in terms of MMA events. You know, it's on a lot of TV, it's been on the news. We've had a lot of positive press at this gym with various media outlets with all the going-ons for the last year. Not with just our gym, but just with the sport overall in MMA. So I mean, I've seen it grow for the better, definitely.
GSP, Koscheck coming up. How do you see it going December 11th?
Well, GSP's my boy, so obviously my heart's with GSP. He's our friend. You know, the politically correct answer would be GSP. In addition to being Canadian, him just being an awesome fighter and being a real, true sportsman. But in my opinion, you know, if there's one guy that I think has the ability at welterweight right now to take GSP out, just based on his pure like athleticism, and just based on the fact that if you look at his past losses, really he got caught in his losses. I think Koscheck has a really solid chance. I was never concerned with George fighting Fitch or Alves or any of these other guys, but like I was at the first Koscheck fight. I actually worked with George at that fight. You know, George had the element of surprise. The first time, no one really knew his wrestling was that solid. If you take a look at the tapes, like, I mean, George, you know, Josh did get George down once or twice, and he also reversed the position on George a couple times. So it was a little bit, it was fairly close. I'm not saying George is going to win, but I just think it's going to be really close. Like, I would not, put it this way, I would not be surprised if Josh won, put it that way.
Okay, very good.
But by no means do I want him to win. George is my boy, I want him to win. And the way George has been fighting for the last couple of years, since his last loss to Sarah, he's always managed to step up his game and just take it 1 or 2 notches above whomever he's fighting, and I wouldn't be surprised if he does that again either. But I just wouldn't be shocked if Josh won. Thanks,
Neil, for your time. And for more information about the event on November 21st,
you could go to www.grantbrothersmma.com.
Excellent. Thanks, Neil.
Perfect.